Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to the show. To all my new listeners, new episodes typically drop on Thursdays. I usually talk about my life, my interests, and the ways I'm trying to grow. So come on back through, you feel me? And for all of my day 1, 7, 54, 118, 178, whatever week you came in, right? And you just said, you know what? I am going to just keep on coming back and listening to her show. Thank you, right? Oh, guys, man, for all my day ones, this is going to be similar to a Closet Chronicles episode. And what's so hilarious is in those particular episodes, I would never have visuals because I wanted to be able to just process things without having to look at myself or focus on any of those things when I record, right? Well, guys and gals, you know, I am here and today is day, let's see, so the bad weather started Friday, so that was actually the day that I recorded last week's episode. And although last week was all, snow every other day or whatever last week anyway, but Friday was when it got worse, and then Saturday is when the insane wind chills came in, and on Sunday with the wind chill it was negative 38 degrees is what it felt like. Now at the time of this recording, shout out to 12 Kyle, it currently feels like negative 18. So I say all that to say that I have been in the house since Saturday morning. Now, it's not like I really went anywhere. I've barely gone anywhere this past week, okay? And here's the thing where I'm starting to get restless and stir crazy, and that's kind of what brought about me, oh, well, let me go record. Because I have a meeting in a couple hours, and so I was like, should I take a nap? That's not really my thing. And so instead of going to sleep, which I probably wouldn't have went to sleep anyway, so I'd have been just wasting time, I was like, let me record, because this is what I used to do once upon a time when I would want to get out a Closet Chronicles episode. Now, here's the thing. I have been stuck in the house, not necessarily because of the cold, because yeah, I was actually wanting to go to the gym today, I have been stuck in the house because my car is broken. Maybe it's just too cold. It is an older vehicle, but all I know is I tried to leave Saturday night to pick my son up from work, and my car was like, nah, fam, take your butt back in the house. Wasn't planning on going anywhere yesterday, so I just let it be. It'll start, so it's not that it won't start. I cannot even articulate what happens when I try to put it in drive. It doesn't even matter. It's really just letting me know, sit your butt down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, I was already kind of starting to get stir crazy yesterday, just because I am not used to being in the house this much, where it's one thing if you don't want to go anywhere it's another thing if you can't. And so I am just finding myself then, in addition to that, I'm in such an interesting state of transitioning from one thing to the next. And this will all make sense when I update y'all a little less vaguely on my life, but we'll get there in the next week or so. But I'm in this transition stage, and so I've always said, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on here before. If not, I know I've definitely had this conversation with someone in life. Transition is such an interesting thing because when you make this step and you're stepping away from one thing and stepping to the next thing, if you slow it down, right? Because when you take a step, like just, oh, go take a step, it's not this super slow process. But if you were to slow it down, freeze frame, it's like there's that part when you're stepping from one thing to the next where your foot is still in the air and everything feels unsettled and you haven't quite reached that next thing, but you're also moving away from the current thing. And if you were to, like I said, slow it down and even do like a freeze frame mid step, that is kind of where I'm at right now. So like I'm stepping away from one thing, stepping to the next thing, but I haven't quite fully landed in the next thing. And so it's just, and there's so many like factors that are going to shift as a result of me stepping away from the previous thing. And it's just, yeah, it's just a weird thing, and the only thing that I can cling to is the Lord. That's the only constant right now, and that is why I always talk so much about the importance of being spiritually healthy. Yep, definitely be mentally and emotionally and physically healthy, but I talk heavily about being spiritually healthy simply because I don't get to choose what I walk through. I don't get to choose how people come at me, how people may have me messed up sometimes, but I get to choose how I'm going to steward my spirit. And I say it that way because we all have a spirit. We all do. You know what I'm saying? Whether we focus on having a relationship with the Lord or not, every single one of us have a spirit. But when our spirit is unhealthy, it does affect the rest of us. It affects the way that we interact with people emotionally. It affects the way that our mindset is even on things. So like the way we handle things mentally, and it definitely affects the way that we interact with people. Because one of the other things I talk heavily about is being healthy in relationships. And so this is why, man, it's so important to be spiritually healthy. This is why in this season, but also for a while, it's been this way. I'd say for the past couple years for sure is when and I already had a relationship with the Lord, but that's when I started realizing I needed to have certain disciplines in place. Like I need to start my day literally a certain way. Like I have to have some time in prayer before I start my day for sure. Now, reading my Bible, I do every day. I know in general, it's better for me to do it in the morning, but there are times that, and that's becoming even rarer, where I have to kind of like hurry up and just get going. So typically I try to read my Bible in the morning, but even if I don't and I read that in the evening or late afternoon or whatever, man, starting my day in prayer, that is a non-negotiable. Like I literally have to pray almost as soon as I get up. Sometimes, because one of the first thing I always have to do when I get up is pee. Sometimes I will be on the toilet praying, peeing and praying. You feel me? That is how I start my day. And then coffee. And it is so important for me to be spiritually healthy because when it feels like my life is falling apart, there is only so much that I can control sometimes as far as like my circumstances. Like the fact that my car is tripping. I couldn't control that. Like, I couldn't stop that from happening. I don't even know what's wrong with it. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just it needs to warm up. So that's what I'm trying to see, but it's super cold. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but what I do know is I can't control that. I can only control how I respond to it. And so it's so funny because I was sitting at the table earlier, and I'm someone, if you know me, then you know silence. Like when I was like lost in thought looking off yonder, the people that know me are going to ask me if I'm okay when I'm quiet, because typically I'm not usually just sitting there like that the way I was. And so um the friend of mine, I live with some people right now that are, I call them my parents, so we'll just say my dad. He just looked at me and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Nope." I don't even waste my time trying to lie to him because, yeah, him or his wife, they just have insight into my life. And I just was like, "It's just this car. Like, it's just like, it's never a convenient time to have car problems, but it's annoying." And I can't control that though, you know what I'm saying? And so I could either choose to let that ruin the rest of my day because I thought I was going to be able to go somewhere, or I can find ways to have some sort of release. And so that's honestly why I'm recording this right now, because typically if I can at least get some stuff out, like my thoughts about how I feel about something, that'll at least take the edge off of it. Now, if it's something deeper where I really need to like process, okay, that's different. But other than that, like, yeah, I just woosah. But let's give y'all the Nana update. Zaire is really out here growing up, and it's so fun. Like, I was talking to Kayliana earlier, and it's like his hair is still like baby hair, you know what I'm saying? And so and then he's like just now starting to like roll over and all that. So she sent us a video of that the other day. But it's so cool watching him just grow up. It's wild to me when I remember that he's only 2 months, because like it just feels like he's been here forever. And maybe that's partially because if you factor in the pregnancy and all that stuff, that felt like forever. I don't know. But all I know is that it's so cool watching him grow up. He's becoming more alert and like smiling more engaged and interactive with like what's going on around him. Talking more as far as like making baby noises. And so I was telling him earlier about my car troubles and how my car really has me messed up. And he was engaged. Like, really feel like he felt where I was coming from, because he cried at the moment when like you should cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's low key what I want to do. So who knows, if this doesn't give me the release that I need, I may cry. Going to the gym would have been a great release, because that is why I mainly stay on top of my journey. I really try to be intentional about going 3 days a week. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that is my day. I don't know. I can't change anything about what's going on. It's really interesting being a dog mom when it's like negative whatever out, and having to try to figure out Gizmo and this whole like I don't know, him trying to go to the bathroom outside when it's super duper cold. Like, they had it on Sunday, like you could easily get frostbite. So I actually haven't taken him out as far as like gone out there and stand out with him. Now what I do is I put him on the leash, which that's what I always did because it's not a fenced in yard, but like let him go out and then just kind of monitor, because when his paw gets cold, I'm gonna have to get him some like snow boots or something. And it's only that way because it's like super cold. But when his paw gets cold, he'll lift his paw up, and then I'll be like, "Come here," to have him come in and stand on this towel or whatever. So we have a little system. He goes out, he does his thing. The first day he would not poop. I get it. What is happening? You know what I'm saying? By day 2, he kind of is like, okay, let me stop playing because I can't be having this stuff just in my body like this. So he finally went poop. And I am very much a person who I have a poop bag and like pick his, even like when we had our own yard, like yeah. So I'll have him go out, do his thing, clean him off and all that stuff when he comes in. And then I'll just go out and pick the poop up and just hurry up and come back in. So that's kind of the system that we have right now while it's super cold out, instead of me going out and standing. We've also had to shift where he uses the bathroom because the snow drifts in the front. He enjoyed playing in the snow, but we're not about to do all that. So yeah, that has been the past few days. And my encouragement to you is that, one, and it's okay for me to like not be okay with the way things are. So in no way am I saying I'm pretending like I'm okay with something that I'm not. I'm not. I'm just choosing not to allow what I can't control to just keep me in this state of just blah. Like I sat there for a little bit and allow myself to just kind of be okay with not being okay, and allow myself to be frustrated or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I can't really do anything about it. So there's no point in me just sitting here all sad and whatnot. And, but it's okay for you, whatever you go through. I feel like sometimes people, they want you to feel better. They want you to have a better, I guess, attitude, or I don't know. But I think like two things can exist. I think you can be frustrated by something, but I think you can still like choose joy. That's kind of one of the themes I'm trying to work on right now, is choosing joy. It's so funny. I think I talked about it. I got this monk manual, which I actually really love. The more that I'm like using it and deciding how I want to use it, because there's no like set way. So now that I've kind of like have how I'm using it, I really, really enjoy this. And it has my, habit I'm trying to grow in, and then it has the theme you're trying to cultivate. So I was sitting there thinking earlier after I tried to go out and see about my car, and then I just happened to look at my thing and it said choose joy, and I'm like, you know what? I do have to choose joy. I think, though, at the same time, as I was saying, but it's also okay to be frustrated. I just can't let that frustration just completely take over just everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at. More to come, because there is goodness, like there's good changes happening and stuff like that. And I have genuinely appreciated the relationships that I've been kind of like investing in, or the people that I've been around more, because I'm very much a like proximity type person. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people that I will intentionally reach out to that I don't see every day. You know what I'm saying? But the people that I see the most, those are naturally going to be the people, especially right now with like all the project management stuff that I do, because it's just like we have a lot going on. So then it just makes it where you naturally talk to these people more. They're around, they're a part of whatever's going on. So it just makes it whatever. And so these are people that when I think about a year ago, I didn't have these relationships. That's crazy. Like a year ago, actually, I was not even serving on the creative team. I had taken like a 7-month break. And a year ago, I was praying through what it would look like to get back into serving on the creative team, what it would look like, what like role. And I didn't even have clarity a year ago. So where I was then to where I am now, the people that I have like such deeper relationships with now that I didn't even barely know them last year. I just kind of knew who they were. Like it's crazy actually when I think about that. I hadn't even really thought about that until just now. And then there are the people that I've known for years, but I've been able to build, I feel like, deeper relationships with just because, again, proximity. I'm around them more. And so, like, there is good things happening. Don't get me wrong. Today, in this moment, like I said at the beginning, this is like a Closet Chronicles episode. So, for those of y'all that are new, maybe I should have said this in the beginning, but you kind of get the gist. I just kind of talk about exactly how I'm feeling and whatever on a more in real time. Like, this is how I'm feeling right now. Like, I got some relief from talking about this. We'll see how I feel when I turn the mic off and you know what I'm saying? It's going to be this thing where I have to continue to choose joy. I have to continue to choose to act opposite of how I feel. Cause in the like background of me talking and all that, whatever, I still feel the frustration. I still feel the disappointment. I'm just choosing not to allow that to just have me sitting around doing nothing, you know, maybe even spiraling into depression or, you know what I'm saying? Because that could happen. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and go. What's cool is that this episode will definitely be on time. Should I make it a bonus episode? Nope, not even going to do that because then I'll have to record something else. And I'd rather have an episode that's on time. I do be trying to have the stuff be on time for y'all. You feel me? So, thank you so much for tuning in. As I always say, excuse me, make sure that you take care of yourself mentally. Make sure you take care of yourself emotionally. Make sure you are taking care of yourself spiritually. As I said, it is so important for all three of those areas. Also, make sure you are taking care of yourself physically, you know what I mean? And you take care of yourself so that you can also, excuse me, be healthy in your relationships, because you have to take care of yourself so that you can present your best self to everyone else. So, that is all I have for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for